Canadian Broadcasting Corporation closed captioning.
Well, hello everyone. After this fantastic musical intro, I would say hello and welcome back to my second video on YouTube. This integration I made concerns the sending, reading of files from a server in SFTP mode to the Google Drive API in the latest B3 version, and in this case with the BOST method without the use of Open Connector. I state that this realization is the result of several blogs that you can find on the internet that concerns how to enable how to manage tokens, how to configure the body in a multi-part mode, and so on. So I thought it was nice to make it, and
because it is precisely a composition of many technologies put together. The agenda is thus formed. We have a general overview, Google's token architecture, permissions configuration, app configuration, and to finish, the iFlow developed in CPI. So from a general point of view, we have the three simple macro blocks. We have the SFTP server, we have the integration suite with the body and the processing of the integration process, and then we have the bio of the data. So in this chat, I want to briefly explain what needs to be done before using it. You can generate the token or refresh the token and then use it. So there is a preliminary phase, which is this here, okay, which concerns the authorization of our server. So in this case of the CPI, in order to be able to generate the token, so this initial phase, which is done only once, which we will see in detail, is preliminary to the use of token generation. So the first thing is to enable the Google Drive app, which we will see in the following slides. Once this operation has been carried out here, it will be necessary to go over the CPI to create the authorization code. This step here involves generating URLs that it is necessary to go and insert, update within Google. This redirect here will in fact allow Google to then be able to carry out the actual authorization phase that will take place within CPI. So here you can see quickly, this is the Google platform where you enable the API. You can enable the API via this button by searching for it here. You create the credentials. Here you go to the creation phase, enter the redirect URL that you are going to find in the creation phase precisely out to authorization code. In the terminal phase, therefore, there is the generation of the client ID and client secret that can be downloaded via this button. Also, inside this JSON file, there are the two URLs to be inserted within the authorization code. One important thing is the scope, which is a field that defines the application, the sub-application, or what you want to do with. This, let's say, is a call. In this case, here my application is the one that ends with a file note that represents the management, the creation of files.
The purposes are many. You go to Google's documentation and enter the pre-appropriate one. Here, finally, we have the flow of CPI, where basically, apart from, the zip part, the properties to be inserted, there are the two main phases. There is the creation of our body, which is called body of the message, and token generation. The generation of the bodysuit is done through a structure called multipart. Now we will see in detail how multipart is made. While inside this groovy, it will call up my credential that I went to generate, which will take care of calling Google and generating the token and going to insert it in the attribute. Here, quickly multipart in this way, as you can see, apart from the call header data, where we are going to insert our token. We have the data of the multipart header, where we are going to indicate the type of document that will have to be managed. In this case, here is a JSON, and in my right part, I quickly entered the types of documents I have. I managed in this integration. Obviously, here they will have to be managed depending on the type of extension. The file, you will have to manage the most appropriate type of content app. Multipart can be a single document or even multiple. Here, as you can see, this here is an excerpt of the Groovy made. You can find many on the internet, but this is a reference. This method here allows me to access my credentials and go to retrieve the token. So it is precisely the credentials on the CPIS that go to read the token, and then the token is inserted inside. A very important thing to finish is the use of this parameter, which is called support or drive equals true, which allows the enabling of shared drives.
Without this parameter, the call goes into error, and therefore my share from shared will not be able to receive the files.
I would say this is how difficult it is in a very short time, let's say, to convey all this information.
But I think that the most important things for especially those who have to achieve such an integration, I think they have arrived. I greet you. Thank you.
And above all, subscribe to my YouTube channel and possibly comment. See you soon. Bye-bye.